Hey, what's going on, guys? Back here at Kenzie's house, and today we're going to be doing a deck profile and Monroeville regional report of my Cubic deck. Yes, I did actually take Cubics to the Monroeville regional. After three failed attempts with barrier statues at regionals and OTSs, where I was this close to my Nats invite and didn't get it, I just figured, why not let loose a little bit, play a deck that I really fell in love with, that was fun. It was a deck that I'd been testing out for the past couple weeks. I've been tweaking around with a lot of different builds, and came in, pretty confident that I could at least, make some people's days and really, just surprise some people with the OTK power of this deck. And it was a lot of fun. Lot of memorable moments throughout the day. I did not get my Nationals invite. I ended up dropping after round 5. Was X3. But yeah, overall it was a really good day. If a couple of things had went here and there, I could have been like maybe X2 or X1 going into round 6 and maybe had a chance. But that's how Yu-Gi-Oh is. It is somewhat of a luck-based game. But going into the tournament report, my round 1 was against Wind Witch Artifact Eidolon. I 2-0'd that. Both games gained over the Indestructible Crystal Wing. Game 1 with Cubic Wave, which I'll get into in a deck profile, and Game 2 with a Kaiju. Round 2, this was the low point of the day. Out of the 240 plus people that were at this regional, I and my opponent were the two that were picked for the random deck check that's done each round, apparently. So I give him my deck box, and I'm thinking everything's okay. Like, I have nothing to worry about. My list is fine. And I get handed back my deck box, and the head judge that's there tells me I get a Game 1 loss. And now, why do you ask that I get a Game 1 loss? Because I have a double-sided deck box. I have all my Cubic cards right here on this side of the deck box. And I had a few cards that were not Cubic cards, not cards that were on my deck list, on the other side of the deck box. And they decided to give me a round 1, or a Game 1 loss for it. Boy, was I really upset and pissed off about it. And I was kind of feeling like challenging the head judge on it, being like, okay, yeah, he said it was, a rule, and he was sorry about it, and my opponent, felt pretty bad about it. He ended up winning Game 2, and then that won him the match. But I felt like saying to the judge, well, show me the rule then. Yeah, show me the rule that says I get a Game 1 loss for it, or be like, you can't even give me a warning for this? This is my first time ever even getting anything like this at an event. But I kept my cool. I didn't take it out on the judge. I didn't take it out on the player. And I just took it as a lesson learned. And I ended up buying another deck box so I could store my other cards in that deck box. So, yeah, just one of those things that happens, I guess. My round 3, it was against a Lightsworn Zodiac player who was playing a 40-card variant. I ended up winning that game. I actually did get off 3 Crimson Nova in one game, or in one turn, actually. And despite him walling a lot of my attacks with Bujinte Kagasuchi and Fairy Tale Snow, I still was able to OTK him through the burn damage and some of the battle damage I got in. So that was really cool. Round 4, I played against Paleozoic Frogs, and it was actually a player that I played against at Columbus. He was playing Metal Foes at the time, and he thoroughly whipped my behind 2-0, and I was just like, darn, why do I have to face this guy again? And he recognized me right away. But Game 1 was probably the best game of the day. It was a couple turns into the game. I had max seed on the previous turn and drew like 2 or 3 cards. It comes to my turn. He has 4 back row set and a totally awesome with a negation. I'm able to blow past all 4 back row and this totally awesome to OTK him that turn. And boy, that made me, that was just the awesomest feeling, to be able to overcome all those odds, to be able to push through that gigantic board, to be able to OTK him. It was just awesome. And then Game 2, even though he kept reading my cards and saying that he didn't know a thing about what the deck did, he was really smart and cited Imperial Iron Walls, saw 2 of them in his Game 2, and that basically won him the game. Game 3, I go first and flip my roll to Kree, but he plays around it really well and is able to win. Then round 5, I go against Pure Zoo, my first Pure Zoo matchup of the day. I OTK him pretty thoroughly Game 1. Game 2, he just draws the nuts, as they say. And he draws a bunch of cards with the Fusion Substitute, Lunalight Black Sheep combo, and sets like 5 back row, and I just couldn't do anything. Game 3 was kind of a grindy game. We went into time. I was up by like 5,000 life points on him, and I was thinking, well, I have a lot of advantage on him, and he's not going to get past this. But he did have a lot of interruptions, a lot of stuff to stop me from OTKing him, and just in the nick of time, he was able to blow through me and OTK me. So yeah, that was the end of my day. As I said, overall, really fun event. No regrets. So we'll go ahead and get right into the deck profile before I ramble anymore. So starting off with the boss monster and the win condition of the deck, we have the free Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. So I'll try to briefly explain what all these do, since not a lot of people know what cubics do. Basically, you need to special summon him by revealing 3 cubics of different names in your hand other than itself. It's 3,000 attack. If it destroys a monster by battle, it can attack again. At the end phase, it burns both players for 3,000 damage. On your end phase, it's only once per turn though, so like if you have 2 or 3 Crimson Novas on board, you only get 1 burn effect for 3,000. And the best part of this, what actually makes this hard for some decks to get over, is the fact that it is unaffected by any monster effects whose original attack is 3,000 or less. So that's what makes this card really good and really hard to get around, and what actually makes it really good for the OTK part of it. Next, we have the free Duza Meteor to Cubic Vessel. Really a shame what Konami did with this card, not playing it in the original movie pack where everything else was Ultra, and then they gave us this movie pack Gold, which was probably one of the worst sets I've ever seen in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where they reprinted everything from the original set in gold, and then gave us this card that we should have had in the first place in gold. So it's the only cubic card that's not ultra rare, and it just bothers me because of my OCD and my rarity whoreness. So yeah, anyway, Duza is a really good card. If it's summoned, you get to send a cubic card from deck to graveyard, and then it has a secondary effect where if a monster is sent to the graveyard while it's face up on the field, once per turn, it can gain 200 attack for each different monster name in your graveyard. So Duza overall really good, really important to help search out the Crimson Nova. Next, we have only the 2 Vijim the Cubic Seed. Most builds play free because being able to send free off of Karma, but that play doesn't come up too often. And with Vijim, it's a really nice defensive card for not being able to be destroyed by battle and how it can like Phoenix Chain a monster, but it really does nothing for you offensively. And when I was playing free, I would dead draw 2 or even free a lot. So I felt like reducing down to 2 was actually the right choice. Next, for other cubic names, we have the 1 Giragal, the 1 Dark Garnix, the 1 Vulcan Dragny, the 1 Blade Garudia, the 1 Endoria Doomvault, and finally the 1 Buster Gundale. So basically, these are all guys that you need to tribute at least 1 cubic to summon. The level 2s require 1 cubic to tribute the special summon. The 3s require 2 cubics, and then the 4s require 3. You could play, mess around with the ratios and play like more of the lower guys if you want, or more of like Buster Gundale. I've seen that a lot, but honestly, you don't really pull these guys off a lot, and they don't really help you to get to your OTK most of the time. So I personally would rather just play 1 just to have the different names in deck and not dead draw multiples of any of these. Giragal is probably the most practical one because it takes 1 tribute, burns for 800, and then his 800 attack itself. Buster Gundale, can be kind of good if you pull him off. The level 4s are actually kind of decent when you pull off the unification play where you summon one of them, and then if it gets destroyed, you get to special summon up to 3 cubics from grave and add any cubic card, but that rarely comes up. So yeah, we just play 1 of each of these for the extra names. Next, we have the 2 Summon Monk. Here to summon Duza out of the deck. It's really good when you have cubic Karma in hand. You can discard Karma, summon Duza, dump another Karma, and get your 2 searches. The unfortunate thing is that there's a lot of disruption in this format, so maybe a card I look at cutting in the future. Then for the final monster, we had a 2 Max C. I did upgrade from the Golds to Ultras to fit the theme of the deck, being mostly Ultra. I think there's only 11 cards in the main deck that are not Ultra, including the stupid Duza that's gold, rare, and ugly. But yeah, 2 Max C is really good. Spells, we have the triple Cubic Karma. Has an on-field effect to where when it's activated, you can send any number of Vijim to Cubic Seeds from deck or hand to graveyard, and then boost a Cubic monster by 800 attack for each. That doesn't go off too often. What you really want it for is the grave effect to get engrave. You banish it from grave and then add a cubic monster from deck to hand. Keep in mind that this effect and pretty much all the other cubic effects are not once per turn. So I've had a lot of games where I can pull off like 2 or 3 of these engrave in one turn and just search out everything that I need to pull off my plays. So yeah, Karma is really good. Then the free cubic waves. This is what I mentioned earlier of how I was able to get over Crystal Wing. Its on-field effect is that you can boost one of your cubic guys and double their attack, and then one of your opponent's monster's attack gets cut in half. Keep in mind that works with it works with current attack and not original attack, and that attack modulation is permanent, so that's really good. And then when it's in the graveyard, even the turn you activate it on field, you can banish this from the graveyard and banish any number of cubic monsters in your graveyard to basically give that many monsters your opponent controls cubic counters. And cubic counters basically Phoenix chain their monsters, negate their effects, and make it to where they can't attack. So Cubic Wave is basically a main deck out the Crystal Wing and is one of your main ways to get a serious amount of damage and OTK your opponent. Like with this, I've been able to get over 30,000 damage in one turn before. So yeah, Cubic Wave's really good. Next, we have the free Foolish Burial Goods card. I was previously playing at 2, but I wasn't seeing enough, so I bumped it up to 3, and it's just really good for being able to dump your Karma Engrave and get that search. Next, we have the Triple Into the Void. This was pretty good throughout the day. This deck is focused on the OTK, so you want to be able to draw through your deck, thin out your deck, and get to enough cubic cards to be able to pull off your Crimson Nova. So that's kind of the whole point of Into the Void. Next, we have the Triple Twin Twisters. Back row is kind of this deck's worst enemy. You don't really care about Dimensional Barrier, but things like Solemn Strike, Warning, Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, those things can get in your way. So you need Twin Twister for that. Plus, you can discard like Karma and get the plus off of that. I'd say 3 definitely is the right number, and there were a lot of times where I just didn't see this when I needed to, so I wish I could play like 5 or 6, but you know, you can't do that. It's illegal. Then we have the 2 Dark World Dealings. I'd played 3 previously, but it clogged at multiples. It still is good, though, for the drop effect and also for getting Karma out of your hand to be able to search. So, yeah. And then finally, the 1 Upstart Hoban, the Upstart Goblin for draw power. For the traps, we have the Triple Unification. This is a really good defensive and offensive card. Basically, there's a fusion effect on field, but you pretty much never get to activate it because you need to have 3 Novas on board and fuse them for the fusion monster. But its graveyard effect is you can banish this from the graveyard when a cubic monster leaves the field by any means, and then you can special summon a level 4 or lower cubic from your deck, ignoring the summoning conditions, and then it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects that turn. So it's really good for getting your Duzas out, getting pluses off of that, and also keeping yourself alive for a turn. So Unification is really good. And then finally, the 1 Cubic Rebirth. Never got off its on-field effect, but it's just here for an extra cubic name. I think I run a total of like 24 cubics and 13 cubic names, so just basically maximizing my potential for Crimson Nova. But if you do get it off, basically, if they declare a direct attack, you can target a monster they control, and then they special summon as many copies of that as they can from hand, deck, or graveyard. And then they all get Fiendish Chain, and they all have their attack become 0. So it's good when it comes up, but it's usually sided out game 2 and 3. So that's it for main deck, 40 cards. For the extra, that didn't go in too much today. You don't really need to, but it's still good to have. We have 1 of the fusion in case we get off the unification play, but you know it never happens. For rank 10s, in case we need to overlay multiple Novas to save ourselves, we have the 1 Super Dora, 1 Gustav Max, 1 Super Dimensional Robot Galaxy Destroyer if we can overlay 3, and just Harpy's Feather Duster their board. Then the Spider combo, the Ravenous Tarantula, Pain Gainer, and 7 Sins. For 4s, when we pull off Summoner Monk plus Duza, we have the 1 Abyss Dweller, Castel, Diamond Dire Wolf. I think I did make this like once or twice in the event. Cowboy, Samurai, and then the Utopia package, Utopia, Prime, and Lightning.
They have cool covers.
Oh yeah.
Cool covers.
Yeah, that's the Dark Side Dimension sleeves. I got these at the event at Mr. Nice Guy's game. 50 packs for only $4. Was unfortunately the last pack, because if it wasn't, I would have bought 2 packs and sleeved my entire deck like this. Because if you didn't know, this cubic deck is the deck that the lead villain right there actually plays in the movie. So that would have been really cool. For the side, we have the free artifact Lancia here for Infernoids, which I didn't see, and also here for the Wind Witch artifact. Stop their fusion play, but it didn't really come up throughout the day. The free Gamma Seal for tributing. Oh, that's okay. Free Gamma Seal for tributing over annoying monsters like the Indestructible Crystal Wing, so that's good. Then we have the free enemy controller. This is basically here for decks like Yang Zhang or Burning Abyss that can infinitely float to defend my attacks, or a deck like Metal Foe Zeus that can wall up with Pendulum Summon of 5 monsters in defense mode. So I can use enemy controller to either switch one of their low attack guys into attack mode to get damage that way, or I can just say tribute one of my monsters I already attacked with to take one of theirs and free up their board to be able to get that direct damage in for game. Then we have the 2 Dark Hole and 1 Regeki. Was thinking of playing the Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, but I wanted these in here because I didn't want to lose out to things like Vanity's Fiend. Then for the final side deck card, we have the Triple Roll Decree. Good in theory. I played this over Denko Sekka because I didn't want to lose my normal summon of Duza, but I think after the tournament, I probably should have been playing Denko Sekka instead. Just a better choice overall, honestly. Alright, so that is it for this deck profile and regional report of my cubics. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you again to Kenzie for recording behind the camera. And we will catch you guys next time.